Hello, hello. Um, Welcome to Tarcy Talks Audio. Okay, there. Okay, audio. Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to another Tarcy Talks, and very prepared. I mean, that's usual for us, pero um, more more impromptu than usual, I guess. Topic. Well, I mean, we've had worse, honestly. We've had periods in which we only decided the topic like the morning of Monday, so no bad, I guess. But oh yeah. So today's topic, actually, ano. So if you recall, the past few weeks, we've been kind of targeting batch, the graduating batch, uh, choosing topics that will be relevant to them, and so on and so forth. We had talking about university, then we had something abroad, we had college application, and all these things. So this actually is a sort of extension of that. We were supposed to end that series last week, but we got a message from a student saying that maybe we can talk about this topic. And honestly, we did think about it. We did think about the possibility of doing this particular topic, but we decided, yun nga, parang we had to be very careful with it. Oh, hi Bianca. Because of uh, the things that will be discussed. Because, for example, in the previous episodes, we had we had topics, we had guests, and it was pretty clear what we wanted. What It was pretty clear what we're expected to share. So it was also pretty easy to reach out and ask these people to share their experiences. But when it comes to this particular topic, in which a lot of things is uncertain, so you're not sure really what will happen. Yeah, it can be either an uplifting story, something a downer. It's hard to say, and it also involves a lot of sharing of personal experiences that be they can be very personal. Because for example, the previous one, yeah, we were talking about applications, but and of course they were personal stories. At the same time, they were also stories that we can easily kind of, I suppose, apply to uh, a lot of people, or we have similar experiences. Um, and here we're going to be talking about certainty. Well, of course, honestly, a lot of things are uncertain now. It's kind of hard to be certain about anything now. How long are we going to stay online? What's going to happen with all of this online knowledge? Is it something that's going to be something that will stick with us? Is it something that we'll forget? Is it actually something that's helpful? We don't know. And yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty going around. And so we thought that it would be good to talk about it. And so this is kind of like a halfway step between previous series, Target Graduating Student, and our regular talks, because so we've invited students whose uncertainty was kind of tied last year's graduation. How I suppose they had plans. We all have plans, or at least we have a general idea of what we want. And then, because of circumstances that are out of control, maybe some of it we can control, maybe some of it not, uh, things change. And so, where do we go from that point forward? So, and that's pretty much what this is all about. We're talking about uncertainty, how to deal with it, how do we roll with it in a certain sense, and yeah, hopefully this will provide a little, reassurance for those. Okay, even though things are uncertain, there are still things that we rely on, even in the. So that being said, back to Paul. So let me give them a heads up. Seconds.
Clap na tayo.
Hello, hello.
Hello?
Hey,
Lalo.
Mark.
Okay. Oh, you guys are live na. So let me just fix the
Ah.
settings of the stream.
Live na, sir.
Yep, live na.
Hindi pa. Yeah. Hi.
Ayun.
Okay, so kita na kayo sa ano. Well, I mean, in a few seconds after the delay.
Wala pa. Where's
Yeah,
Thor?
naka-delay siya ng ano. Like a 10-second
Oh,
delay.
my.
Sorry, I just my parents called.
Live na.
Okay. So I kind of started off the stream. For those who are watching, Sir Q is actually more of the one who pushed this episode, I guess.
Uy,
Siya yung,
Bill.
huh? Ikaw? Well, I mean,
Well,
had a lot of input
ish?
regarding this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I guess to give everyone a heads up on this, this is something that is kind of close to our hearts. If everyone might know, Batch 2021 had always been somewhat special to me. They were always kind of my babies dahil ever since na grade 9, grade 10, then SYP I followed how they were and so on and so forth. So the students we have here, two of them were my advisories, and two of them were I held in other sections. It's what happened last year was that it was very traumatizing to see what they had gone through, the stress. If you remember from our last episode, there was a lot of stress involved in college applications, and it was hard enough to watch them go through all of that. But it was a whole different heartache that we felt for batch 2021. And for us teachers, it was very difficult for us to try to reach out because we couldn't figure out how to do it. It was hard enough already that we were at distance learning, because if we were there, had we been inside face-to-face classes, we know how to console them. But in this scenario, it was very, very hard. People were more alone, more isolated, and to receive news like this, it's crushing, very hard crushing. And we didn't want to take away the spotlight from B 2021. We wanted them um, to f- to grieve as much as they want because it was something that rightfully meant to be to feel grief over, something that they worked hard, something that they really had their hopes up for. And as teachers, we could only just watch them from what was happening, what would they post online, and where they would be. So it was very, very much something that we were happy to hear about when Janae actually reached out to us and said that the series that Sir Darcy had started for the past 3 weeks was actually helpful for the lower batch. But something that we also wanted to give perspective is what happens if all else fails? Or what about the uncertainty that because there's always two things that we always feel like there's always only two outcomes. We make it, we don't make it. And the thing is we never plan for if we don't make it. So here are the brave souls that were actually able to come out and help us, enlighten us on how is it, how are they, and how are they able to cope, thrive, survive, and figure out what to do from here on out. So it's a heavy topic. It's I know something that we all know it's hard to talk about, but we feel like it must be said. So tama ba, Mark? Just to make sure. I mean, speaking for
I
for
think we I think
it's
we
like
I think we kind of need to rip the bandage off in terms of what's the context of these people. Uh, why are why these people? You want to do it or do I?
first things first. Let's introduce our guests for today. Naka webcam reveal na sila. So first things first, the one who kind of started it all was I'd like to introduce Janea. Janea, hello.
Hi,
Janea.
sir.
So let us know, where are you right
Hi,
now and
sir.
what are you taking up?
Currently, incoming freshman ng DLSU BS Psychology. Woo!
Yes. Now I like that term, incoming. Kasi hindi pa sila start the classes. That's how chill Lasal is. Another one who gives his biggest approval is Mike. Mike, let us know, why are you so happy? Because
Tama si sir. Klase pa namin sa Lasal sa October 18 pa.
Madaya,
so Mike is
madaya.
also going to Lasal. Mike, what are you taking up?
I'm taking up industrial engineering sa De La Salle, Manila.
Woo!
Yeah. Yeah, okay. He's go. De La Salle, Manila. Saan ba yun? Don't we call it De La Salle University?
It's just La
Yeah,
Salle.
DLSU.
keep the pride for DLSU. You know, DLSU represent. Finally, I have someone nakakampi here. Okay, let's hear from our. We have a foreigner here. We have our resident K-pop star. Say hi, Thor.
I'm not Korean, I'm Chinese, but hey guys, I'm Thor. I'm currently in UST taking up Deep Med. We started
Yeah.
school in June, so I'm very, very
Tired.
tired and envious of people who are going to LaSalle. You guys have like 3 months, 2 months of extra rest. I'm so tired. I'm so tired already.
Shift ka na, sir. Shift ka na sa Hambayo, sir.
And finally, our last one, the one that you can see below. Wax. Face
I
reveal? No face reveal.
I'm sorry, not yet. I've actually been trying to get a camera working this whole time I was here, and I still can't get one to work. Actually, it goes way beyond that. I was trying to make a camera work earlier during my classes, and to no avail.
So where are you going now, Wax?
I'm currently at UST taking up a bachelor degree on physical education and wellness management.
Yes, so we have
Uh,
2 LaSalles and 2 UST students here with us.
Wait, joke,
Yeah.
not Mapua. I meant Mapua, not
Mapua.
UST. Gosh,
So
I'm
confused.
sabog already. It's so
When did you
early.
start?
I started around, how long has it been? It's been around 6 weeks. So a month and a half ago.
Parang mas dapat sabog si Thor kaysa sa'yo. Pero okay, I guess sanay na sa kasabogan si Thor. So for everyone here in chat, these are our batch 2021 students that are here today to help us with our episode for today. Some of you might know them, the batchmates. Some of you might be actually their batchmates. Others might be your lower classmen because we do have a lot of alumni here in this channel. But others, something that we kind of wish that we could target are the lower classmen. I mean to say our grade 12 and grade 11 students, our AYP, SYP, and FYP. Can you imagine if we have FYP students here? I think they'd be traumatized on what our what our alumni are good have been and what are they doing right now. So first things first, uh check more on how are you right now, like at this point in time. We're going to try to restructure the events of before to where we are now. So how are you? First off to talk is Sir Tarcy.
Wait, me?
Just to
Uh,
throw everyone off so that everyone in our guest knows what to talk about.
di ba dapat ikaw muna magsimula kung gano'n? Okay, anyway. Yes, we're okay. Wait, we're on week 4, right? Of our
Yeah.
SI. Like we're like double that at least. So yeah, that kind of goes to show na how I feel about things so far.
So you mean
Pagod.
Thor has actually been studying and actually been online classes longer than we have?
I'm not sure why that's surprising,
June
but
na siya. June pa siya. That's how relaxed we are right now in Pisay. Ish.
really? Are we? Are we relaxed?
Is there anything different from last year compared to this year sa online classes?
Excellent question from our alumni. Something to look back to. What are the new things? Required
What?
na ang synchronous classes.
Oh no!
Mwah! No, just kidding. Oh my gosh, I'm not meant to scare our locals, but
Nakaiwas kami, let's go.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't attend a single synchronous class back in
that's
I
grade 12.
didn't
true.
either actually. The check-ins, I wasn't able to attend most of them because I was probably asleep at the time the kailangan
Oh,
pumasok.
so our synchronous classes are required to start from 8 a.m. all the way
Oh,
straight,
Hindi
wow.
na 9, sir?
straight
Hindi
through
na 9?
one. No.
Oh.
Oh, flag sem starts at Mark. What time does flag sem start?
I don't have class on Mondays. No.
Flag sem starts around 7:30, I guess. I'm also not up during that time, so yeah, we've adjusted very well. I don't know which direction, but we've adjusted. But yeah, these are the things that you, I bet you didn't miss from Pisay. But also they might say that you're not prepared for. Oh, although the two up above, medyo they haven't experienced kasi our alumni are saying that hindi daw sila prepared sa synchronous classes dahil they only had one or two synchronous classes in a day, then that's it. But for let's say Thor, how are your synchronous classes
In
in a
USD.
day? Yeah, in USD.
So, luckily, we don't have classes on Monday, so we have a 4 day week.
4 days, yeah.
But every day we have synchronous class from like 7 a.m. sharp, and it can reach all the way up to like 4 p.m., 3 p.m. kind of
Very
every day. It's especially hell during med subject days because it's just dire derecho, and they conduct the lectures like it's F to F. They're just gonna like give you everything. It's nonstop, nonstop. If you don't read beforehand, you won't follow the lecture, and if you don't follow the lecture, you fail the post test. And every day there's a post test. Every day there's a pre-test with some subjects.
Now that's the reason why we couldn't invite Thor last week because he was actually studying for a test, and I said it. He really needs to study for it. Otherwise, oh no. Wax, how about you, Mapua? How
Uh,
are classes so far?
Actually, I think I'm very fortunate pa naman because like I said earlier, my current degree is a bachelor on physical education. It's not it's not actually an approved course no ng Pisay DOST. So I did send out an email previously to the registrar, to our director, na asking if I can get it approved because that's pwede. I asked the guidance about
Oh.
this, and you can actually request for a course to be approved.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, walang nag-reply. So that's
What?
okay. That's okay on for me because I am actually planning nga din kasi on transferring.
Oh, okay.
But
We'll get there. Oh, hang on. We'll get to that transferring in a bit. But how are your classes so far?
yeah, classes right now, very lucky. I have a very not so tight schedule actually. I have I think 6 subjects and only about 2 require synchronous classes,
Oh,
and the workload isn't really um that hard to manage pa naman. Kasi unang-una, I don't have math. I don't have
Dream of
subjects
every Pisay
na
student.
science. I don't have science subjects actually.
What do you
Like
have?
I don't I don't have stuff like biology, physics, etc. So far pa lang here in my first term, I only have stuff like sports history, sports structure. Um, One of my subjects is readings on Philippine history or knowing about the self, ganun, stuff like that.
Oh,
So light
but
pa lang,
yeah.
but I guess
But
that's
Mapua can get very fast, right? Like it's a
yeah,
quad sem.
it's quarterly, so it can change a lot after some time. But I guess it's also din kasi Mapua isn't specialized then for that kind of degree. Eh. They're mostly
Yeah.
for the I've seen the courses ng mga engineering courses and stuff like that, and sila babad talaga sila sa Rex. Like
Wow.
they have their plates, they have their drawings, and I guess I'm just fortunate enough na relax pa ako ganun.
That's great. But at least you have something else in plan for in a bit. Uh,
Yes.
Speaking of relaxed, how about the two above? How are you comparing? Iniinggit nyo ba yung mga kabatch nyo na hindi pa kayo pumapasok? Okay, we have a yes and a no and maybe. Are you kind of excited to start school though?
Excited ba? Hala, nawala si Mike. Nagtago sir. Excited ba? Ayos lang, sir. I think, sir, parang at the moment, I'm on a stage where I want to enjoy my last full summer break before college. Kasi sa Lasal walang summer break. So I'm like, okay,
Wala na.
paghandaan
Last
ko na
na
to.
to.
So yeah.
Wala na.
So far, ang ginagawa ko lang sa as in relax talaga, sir. Nakakailang K-drama na ako. Saka Chinese drama. If you've been following me on IG or Twitter, alam niyo tad-tadan ng K-drama yung life ko. Pero at the same time, I'm also doing like org stuff. Like, recently nag-apply ako for an event sa college namin for Frosh. So there's that then like pero yeah, hindi pa ganoon ka-active din kasi yung mga taga Lasal kasi may term 3 pa sila. So busy pa sila sa exams din. So wala pang masyadong ganap talaga as a whole. So yeah.
Mike, how about you?
Wow, nag-org ka na pala. Hindi ko pa nga masyado pinapansin eh. Kamusta? Eto rin. Ganun din naman. Ine-enjoy na rin yung yung konting natitirang summer breaks. So, puro relax lang talaga. Kasi sure ako pag klase di na rin di na rin makaka-relax tulad ng ganito. So yeah, just enjoying for like until isang month na lang. Tapos yeah, magkaklase na rin. Same boat na din tayo afterwards in a little bit.
Less than a month na lang, 'di ba? Yeah.
Oh,
3
less
weeks
than a
na lang.
month na.
3 weeks na lang.
Ay gusto ko lang sabihin sa kasi sa Lasal I'm taking up industrial engineering. So this first term lang I have like 5 subjects lang. And lahat ng mga subjects ko this term ay mga naaral
General.
ko na. Oo.
Yeah.
Mga naaral ko na sa noong grade 9 at 10. Mga
Yeah, ganun sir lahat.
What?
General
9 to
subjects sir
11,
lahat.
mga
Legit, no joke.
like general physics, mga general chem. There's also stat.
When may stat
So,
kayo, sa akin math, yung intro to
Math.
psychology lang yung naiba. Yeah, pero yung puro general subjects lang.
Nakakainggit nga eh kasi sa program ko lang sa IE lang kami nag foundation subjects kasi sa iba sila eh yung mga Pisay subjects nila na credit na yung sa ibang
What?
engineering na credit kasi I don't know, parang mukhang may agreement sila sa sa Pisay. Pero strangely sa IE, it's not the case. So, I don't know, I'm just gonna titignan na lang po natin. Yeah,
Ah, it's
that's
great. It's
about
great to
it.
hear from everyone. Actually, the reason why I asked is that we can set the marker as to how we are right now. To set that where some of us are excited, some of us are just want some rest, some of us are still adjusting, and some of us had actually started everything else and uh, is going through the motions already. So now let's try looking back. If you would allow me to ask, uh, what were the okay? So these are harder questions now, and I hate that I'm the one who is going to ask it, but Sir Tarsi can't be the one to ask it. Siya lang
Because
yung corny for this episode. This is going to be a bit hard because we're going to be reflecting back on uh, what was once then, but it's something that we can try to establish and see how far we've gone. So my question to you is that what was the course that you had actually applied for and really hoped to get in during your college application days? Let's start with Thor because we did
uh,
start with him earlier.
Josh,
Why?
uh, I think we need to kind of be explicit about the context. Kasi,
Yeah.
um, so, um, okay, just to kind of rip the band-aid off. So, our guests today uh, are people who uh, had different intentions for their college and universities. And over the course of last year, they had to switch gears and choose alternatives for their college university choices. And yeah, so that's what we're kind of how it aligns with our topic in terms of uncertainty, how things can change. So that's the context. Para lang clear kasi
Wait,
we didn't actually
did you
say
not
that.
mention that during your first in the intro?
I thought it was going to be after we introduced them kasi
I'm so sorry for everyone, and I'm so sorry for yes. Yeah. I thought you already intro that, but yeah, that's the context that we're getting at. Thor, are you kaya ba?
Sorry, okay lang. Yeah. The course that I wanted. Well, I mostly focused on applying abroad kasi I don't know about the others, pero that was my college application cycle. It was mostly grinding out SAT and then trying to figure out how to apply abroad. I really wanted to go to Canada to McGill, but I got waitlisted, and then I couldn't. I don't think we could afford any of the other universities that I got into. So for the Philippines, like for the Philippine universities, I feel like every single person who wants to go into medicine wants to get into UP's intermed. But I know myself, and I know that my grades are not up to par for that. So I was like, it's fine. I'll bow it sa leap med exam, and thankfully I got in naman. But it was still pretty hard to accept or to find out that I didn't even make it to any of the course degrees that I applied for in UP. So yun lang. That's
Thank you, Thor. Thank you very much. Wax, how about you?
Okay, so I guess yung pinaka gusto kong course would be sports science, which can be found in UST and UP. At least from the schools na in-applyan ko. Kasi I only applied to 4 schools: Lasal, UST, Ateneo, and UP. So I got my results from UST, and fortunately I passed. However, yun nga, I had 3 other colleges waiting, and I just didn't. Oh, did my cam die? Anyway, so I had 3 other colleges waiting, and I didn't want to just pass up on the opportunity. I wanted to wait kasi I really wanted to go into UP kasi
Mhm.
yun nga, that's where my parents are from, and kinda my whole family in general, like secondary, tertiary, ganon. Most of them are from UP. So it felt like I had the responsibility to also go there. So
Yeah.
I declined UST and I just moved on from that. That's fine. I had 3 other places to go to. La Salle and Ateneo, I passed. And I was really happy about that. But I still didn't know about my UP results. So I had to make a decision. I had to either take La Salle and Ateneo or just wait for UP. So I did some research and then eventually I started liking Ateneo more and more because I started to like their system more, and I guess I like their orgs more from ano kasi ako kasi I like I like playing games. I like
Yeah.
esports, and I looked at the esports club na Ateneo, and that felt more. I felt like I had a better future there than the one in UP. So I was more interested in going to Ateneo. So I talked to my parents about it because it's a big decision. However, they weren't so into me going to Ateneo than going to UP kasi nga they're both from there. They want to keep the
Yeah.
UP pride alive. And they were able to convince me naman, just take the risk, wait for it. Kasi I passed all my colleges. Maybe
Mm.
I'll get into UP as well. So ayun, I didn't do anything for La Salle and Ateneo, and I went forward with just waiting for my UP, my last university that I applied in. Unfortunately, I didn't pass. It was extremely heartbreaking because I thought I would at least pass Los Baños, but even then, I still didn't make the cut. So and we were at a loss for what to do, and I guess I was kind of regretting everything at that point. Fortunately, Mapua came up and gave me an opportunity, so here I am now.
Big loss for Ateneo. That's a top within top 100 Valorant player we have here. So, but we'll get to that. Don't worry. We'll get to that more into later. How about you, Mike? Where did you try to apply for first?
Ano pa naman ako? Ako, simula bago pa man ako magpisay, para ano nga eh. Like, I mean, ako and a lot of people can relate to this na may maraming mga estudyante na pumasok sa Pisay with the intent of getting to UP UP afterwards.
Yeah, that's true.
UP is the place to be for a lot of people na nagte-take ng Pisay. So bali pag nahirapan ka sa Pisay, pag parang ayaw mo na, iniisip mo na lang, pagkatapos naman ito sa ano naman ako, sa UP naman ako. So ganun. So bali all throughout Pisay, even before that pa, UP or nothing talaga, particularly UP Diliman. But then yun nga, na nangyari yung mga nangyari. So like Wax, nag-apply ako sa 4 na university. Dun lang sa Big 4 lang, which is sa UP, sa Lasal, sa Ateneo, sa UST. Lahat naman nakuha ko naman lahat sa mga pinag-applyan ko maliban sa UP. So, UP kasi yung pinakahuling nag-release ng results. So,
Yeah.
my hopes were really, really high for UP. So,
What
ayun
did you
nga.
apply for UP?
I applied for industrial engineering rin po
Yeah, also.
for UP.
Nice.
Yun. Yung mga kinuha kong course medyo in demand po talaga.
Mm.
Or they say quote unquote quota courses, but
Yeah.
very quota courses, but I don't think they call it like that anymore. So the demand is really high there dun sa mga in-applyan ko, and yung mga yung mga grades ko para hindi naman sobrang taas pero hindi rin naman po bagsak. So lang po. Kaya good enough naman na nakapasa ako dun sa sa 3 other universities. Tapos, tawag doon, first choices naman dun sa 3 universities. Pero sa UP nga lang, wala ligwak talaga eh. I picked for the campuses. I picked Diliman and I picked Los Baños second. So, X, wala talaga both eh. So,
Gosh.
after that, merong may period na pwede kang magpa-reconsideration for
Mhm.
for other campuses. Lahat ng UP campuses pwede ka magpa-reconsideration maliban sa UP Diliman. So, I applied sa even sa Visayas at Mindanao. And actually nakapasa ako sa sa UPV tsaka sa UP Min. Nakapasa naman ako for recon kaso hindi lang sa program na gusto ko. So I took industrial engineering in LaSalle and I'm contented naman na po. So simula hindi po masyado pero sa ngayon I'm content naman po.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's great. I mean, it's bad that everything happened, all these expectations that we had, and but we got there later on. Let's try Janea. Janea, how about you? What did you apply for?
Actually sir medyo course-oriented ako, more on the course kaysa dun sa college talaga. Pero UP pa rin talaga kasi I wanted to grab that opportunity of a scholarship again, full scholarship, so yun. So, nag-apply ako UP Manila, first choice, physical therapy. And to be honest, if I think about it, first choice ko talaga sports science. Because like when I discovered it nung SIP nung grade 10, I really wanted to go to sports sci. Sports sci, yeah.
Yeah.
And pumasa ako sa UST, so I was happy about it and stuff like that. Pero I had to let it go kasi masyadong maaga yung deadline ni UST talaga. So hindi possible. So and then so sa Manila kasi I chose physical therapy first instead of use sa sports science sa UPD because when I check naman similar curriculum and I like the medyo weird pero I like the environment of UPM. So I wanted to go there and like physical therapy is something na I realized na kailangan din talaga sa PH. So I wanted to go there. And yun. Tapos dumating nga yung day, yung D-Day ni UP. So, and hindi ko pinansin at all Lasal and Ateneo even though I passed naman there. Hindi ko
Yeah.
sila pinansin because like, I was like, okay, nakapasa naman tayo sa tatlo. Siguro may mapapasukan naman ako kahit isa sa UP. Pero unfortunately, wala. Pareho. It's like both campuses, I didn't make the cut. So, I had paano ba? It was parang nag-reality check ako cause like I didn't have cause I really didn't expect na gano'n kalala na kahit anong course hindi ako kahit anong program hindi ako pumasa out of all the
Yeah.
choices. So, after that, I had to reconsider and like Ateneo wasn't really a priority cause ayoko I couldn't see myself in Ateneo. So, yun yung pinaka-ano ko. So, that's a no for me. And then I tried actually emailing UST if they could, if pwede, why not? Kasi I had a good star score din naman. It was pretty high. So, unfortunately, wala talaga silang slot for sports high in UST. So, hindi na ako pinagbigyan. And I was like, oh well, it's a sign. DLSU was calling to me. Medyo magi-cringe yung lower year na Janea, pero oh well, ito calling na siya, I guess. And like psychology na rin. So yeah, I was like, okay. Psychology was my third choice in the course. Okay, why not? So yeah. Ayun, nandito ako.
Great. I meant it's these are terrible things that had happened. I meant first choices from what they had hoped for to where they are now. It's a huge difference. And sometimes when we look back, we couldn't imagine who we were back then and how could we be able to get to where we are right now. Now the thing is, during that time, when UPD results came out, because I remember the wait was very, very scary. Everyone's was on their edge of their seats. Everyone was demanding that all the other universities went ahead and also ended their deadlines. And UPD, something that everyone felt that was supposed to happen, wasn't happening. And when it did happen, that's when emotions just rushed. Some were elated, some were not so happy. And this is something that I hope Mark would allow me to ask our audience, our guests, more on what was the emotions running in your mind during the time that you got the news, and what did you have to go through during that time? The reason behind why I asked this is to show that besides students actually go through these things, that they're not they're not gods. They may be math lords, chem lords, but they're human also. They also feel these things. So what were those things that was what were those emotions rushing through you, and what did you go through during that period when you received the news? Now I have to ask Sir Darcy first. Is this question
Yeah,
allowable?
go.
No,
I'd
no,
mute you if
kasi
I'd mute you kung hindi pwede. Pero hindi.
the reason
Pero,
because
no,
is
no,
that
go.
we have to be careful. We really have to be careful because I did consult a guidance counselor here, but also we want you can answer you can we ask our guests that they may answer if they want and share uh with everyone because this is a public platform kasi. But if you don't want to share, it's okay. That's your it's your right um to keep that story hidden for now. So uh let's start with Wax because Wax actually started with how he went through during the time when he had received his letter. So Wax, how was it during that time?
Okay, so I guess I went through. Oh, I'm sorry if the background's loud though.
It's okay.
Okay, no. Okay, so okay, it was weird. It started off really weird. I I got my I got the letter of um I got the letter that I didn't pass early in the morning because there was this thing in the system where it was showing out the letters early, and then if you were awake during that time you could just go to the
Mhm.
website, look at it. I think it was 3 a.m. at that time. So I was on the bed, I was scrolling through Twitter, and I saw people were already getting their acceptance letters. So I said, why not? I'll go check it out now. So I got off the bed, went to my laptop, went to the website, and then there I saw that I didn't pass. So I showed it to my dad. He was also awake at the time. And then he also couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So in a weird state of emotion, because I couldn't process it yet at the time. It was 3 a.m. I just went to sleep.
Oh,
Basically, big denial, thought it was a dream. I went to sleep. And then I woke up and reality struck. I didn't pass. I didn't have a college to go to. I guess the first na pumasok sa utak ko was regret. Kasi I felt like I wouldn't be in that situation if I just took Ateneo in the first place. Kasi I had it secured na eh. I should have just taken what was safe for me. And ayun, I was in a weird state of regret and I guess anger. Kasi why did I do that? I should have just done that like this, like that. But I guess a few days later, I came to the understanding na I'm not doing anything right now. I need to do something about it, or else for the next year or so, I'm gonna take a break, which is fine. But
mhm.
it's not what I wanted. I wanted to do something for a year. So, ayun. Luckily nga, Mapo was there, and I was quite happy about that. Sad na it's not where I wanted to be, but I'm happy na I was still given an opportunity to do something. So, ayun, lots of emotions, really crazy ride.
Yeah.
Lalo nang it took me such a long time to be able to process that I didn't pass because it was so unbelievable. I guess the part of me din kasi wanted to believe na I was gonna pass kasi nga uh from the from a very young age I was always told na I'll be going to UP kasi nga families, everyone's from
Mhm.
UP, ganon. So I really thought so. Yan.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're going to get to that when it comes to expectations then. Shoot, ako yata hindi ko kaya eh. Wait lang. Sorry, it's just my first time hearing this eh. I kept turning off my camera dahil, shoot, ako pala hindi prepared. Sorry. Okay. Uh, okay. Thank you for sharing, Wax. I know it's terrible. It's terrible that had happened, but I'm also glad that you were able to overcome it. No matter how long it could have been, you were also thinking about taking a gap year, but it's something that was going on in your mind. Now,
Well, interestingly, actually, yung thoughts about gap year, I guess at first I genuinely was considering it, but
mhm.
to mostly to an extent of spite. yung, yung tipong,
Yeah,
if
that's true.
if you're not gonna accept it, might as well just take a gap year, you know? And
Yeah.
well, I guess yun. It was genuinely hands down weird.
Mm.
Weird amount of emotions.
It was. Thank you, Wax, for sharing. Another one that I would like to ask was that let's go to something a little bit more. I would. I'm not sure if he would agree if it's opposite, but more on when results came out. He was very vocal on Twitter. So okay, that's you, Thor. So just be ready. And I saw that.
I was vocal.
Mm, yeah, you were vocal. You were very vocal. Not more
Forgot.
on the sad, but more on the very angry, I guess.
Okay,
I think
so
you had all caps pa nga nun eh.
okay, so I went through the 5 stages of grief really, really quickly. So when I saw the result, I was like, "Thank you for applying, but your UPG did not meet the cutoff." I was like, "No way, right? No way, denial. Like no way that happened. No way. I'm Pisay. We're in Pisay. There's no way we failed that." Okay, next, anger. When I refreshed the page and checked after like one day, I was like, "Oh God, it's real. I didn't pass UP. Oh my God." I I went on Twitter and I was like angry. You know what, UP? Screw you. I'm going to do better in UST. I am going to flourish here. Okay, next, bargaining. Maybe UP wasn't for me. Maybe this is where I'm meant to be in UST. Next, depression. This was like 3 days. I was like, oh man, I didn't get into UP. Am I not good enough? Oh my god. Next, acceptance. This is where I am. Because I had to accept it because we started classes. I didn't have the option to like sulk for too long because we had quizzes the next day, we had projects to do, and wala, ayun.
No,
That's
no,
all.
okay. Before we jump, okay, Mark, you first.
When did UP results come out and when did UST classes start? I can't recall.
UST, well, it's specifically for LeapMed because we're an accelerated program.
Mm.
So we took all of like the minor subjects or like 3 minor subjects. Is it three? No, two. 2 minor subjects in the summer term. So that was June. That was for like a month and a half or something like that. Then we had a week, 2 weeks break, and then we started our regular term. So yun nga, June, and then UP results. When did UP results come out?
July 15.
Yeah, July. So that was around like towards the end of our summer term. So we had like final exams and stuff like that. So ayun. Sorry. What are you asking? You're asking that, no?
No. So parang ganyan. Kasi I'm trying to contextualize na, okay, so you were already going to UST, hoping to kind of shift back into UP? Is that the hope?
Actually, no. Because, like I said kanina, UP, I'm really thankful that I already had a college na. I already had a program that I was happy with. Because yun nga, my goal is to become a doctor, and I want to get through that. I want to achieve that through like an accelerated program. So I was happy that USC accepted me, and I'm genuinely happy here. But it was a punch in the gut. It was such a big it's just really really bad for. I'm just gonna go. It's really ego shattering to find out that you know how. Okay, I when I realized that that when I found out that I didn't pass, all I could think about was you guys know how like nung F2F like with the batch with like the previous batches, it was never about, hey, did you pass UP? It was about, hey, who didn't pass UP, right?
Yeah.
So with that in mind, and seeing on the screen, thank you, but we don't accept you, it was just very, very heart wrenching, I guess. And I feel like everybody who didn't get the degree program that they want, everybody who didn't pass UP outright, kind of felt the same. It was worse for the regional campuses. It was way worse for them.
That's true. Actually, we haven't heard that much from the regional campuses. Uh, we've only heard very little also within the batch that we handled. Uh, my question though, did you have enough time for the acceptance? Seems like you're still on the 5 stages of grief. It's meant to be a period, but yours was like a weekend. Are you okay? Just in case. Have do you honestly do you really believe that you've gone through the 5 stages?
Yeah, I can't speak for everyone. Maybe these guys are still going through like one of them, but for me, yeah, it was. I had to shift my mentality because classes already started. What am I gonna do? I already have a college and it's already started. I don't have the luxury of, you know, being sulking over it because I still have grades to keep up. I still have courses to pass. So it's not, I just had to speed run the 5 stages, I guess.
Yeah, Bianca did mention you did speedrun the 5 stages. Now, for someone who had to speedrun the 5 stages because he was forced out of time, let's hear it from someone who had too much time to think about it because the luxury of time was something given to these Lasallians. Let's hear it from you, Mike. Maybe it might be the other way around that too much time on your hands gave you so much grief as well. Mike,
Um,
nakamute ka yata.
Mike.
no, I think na-disconnect yung mic mo.
There you go. No, still no.
Ano,
Oh no!
maybe we can go with Janea first.
Ah,
Okay, sige,
Janea.
tara ako na naka. Paano nga ba? Ah, so nung the day that lumabas yung UP results, I figured na hindi ako magpupuyat that day. So like, I slept before 12 because like, I didn't wanna see my messages na, guys, pwede na tingnan yung results ng 12 a.m. or something like that. I didn't want that. So I slept and I woke up at 7:30 ata. And like, that's the first thing I did. I immediately checked the website on my phone and then like same as store. Nung nakita ko talaga like it said like yung thank you for applying and then like I had I refreshed I remember refreshing the website kasi nakailang
Mm.
swipe up ako kasi I had to see na talagang gano'n siya. And the thing was like gising na rin yung mom ko and like nakita niya ako. She was like, "Oh, anong nangyari?" And like I remember staring at her. As in tinitigan ko lang siya for like a few seconds because I was like, hindi pumasa. As in I was like, I thought at first I was like waitlisted, DPWAS or something like that. Pero like talaga nakalagay hindi umabot yung UPG ko dun sa cut. I was dumbfounded. As in talagang blanco yung mukha ko. And then like siguro the thing that parang nag-trigger talaga ng emotions ko was paano ba, nakita ko lahat ng notifications ko on Discord, Messenger na yung results sa UP, kahit sa Twitter actually. And then like, everything and I was like, naalala ko nun that time, so gumising ako 7:30, mga bago mag 8 o'clock, umiiyak na lang ako. So yeah, I was really crying and then like I messaged people on the news and stuff like that and like I was okay with it and then kahit yung ibang relatives ko nag-contact din sa'kin. They were like, "Good luck sa UP, results today." And then parang during that time, mga 7:30 to 10 AM, umiiyak lang ako. I was still in bed the whole time. And then like at some point my mom was like, "It's okay, kain muna tayo and then pag-usapan natin ano yung gagawin." And then like thankfully naman, I was so thankful na maraming people na nag-console sa'kin and stuff like that. And yung parents ko talaga yung medyo nag-snap out of it sa akin na parang, okay, kailangan mo ng backup plan. Like, we need a backup plan since wala na talaga si UP. At first kasi I considered, syempre, recon and stuff. Pero wala talaga. Pero nung nakita ko kasi, magpaparecon lang ako sa Manila. Wala akong courses na gusto in other campuses. So I was like, and then sa Manila, limited lang din yung courses and ayoko pa yung courses sa Manila. So I was like, okay, so it's either UST or LaSalle. And then, actually, hindi ko kina-consider si LaSalle at first. I was like, UST, please, just give me this one. Just, come on. Then, so yun. Pero, it took me days. Siguro, ilang araw din akong like, at random moments, iiyak ako. And like, I'm just thankful talaga na through that whole week, before I actually decided going to LaSalle talaga, I had a lot of friends to support me. Like, even Mike and Thor, actually, nandun sila. I remember them. I remember messaging them a lot. Tapos, like, nung sa, we had to go, uuwi kasi kami sa Bulacan during that weekend. So, I had time to rethink a lot. And like, as in, nagmuni-muni lang ako for a long, long time. And then, yun nga. And then, Lasal na. And, yun. I slowly accepted it. And like siguro the time na na-accept ko talaga yung sa Lasal, medyo funny kasi like sumali ako sa Discord call sa BS Psych sa Lasal ID 121. So like sumali ako sa Discord call and like na-shock ako kasi like everything. Kasi talagang konyo. So I was like, okay, konyo sila. Ayun talaga yung reaction ko. And then like, yun nga, nagkaroon ng formalities, greetings, ganon. And like, I was like, okay, so kaya ko naman pala. Kaya naman. And then, it started na yun. So, I decided, okay, wag ko na i-stress masyado. Kasi like, wala naman ako magagawa. And I'll just enjoy the summer break that I have left na extended pa. Kasi nga, October pa pasukan. So, yeah. Ayun yung...
Thank you, Janea. Thank you very much. Someone who also is enjoying his summer break. But before the enjoyment, how were you when you received the news? Mike? No!
Still nothing.
No! Hindi pwede sa Lasal yun, ha? Kailangan yata nakamak yata lahat ng students sa Lasal. No, just kidding. No, Mike, still no. What's wrong? Mark,
Maybe you need
did you meet him?
No,
Start
I
mo kaya
didn't.
PC mo.
He left
start.
earlier.
Maybe
No.
you need to reselect your microphone. Discord.
Kita mo yung unmute button. May pababang arrow. Click mo yun. Tapos click mo yung input device. Kita mo?
Sometimes pag na-disconnect yung microphone, parang it changes yung...
Oh, Mike
Meron
was
na.
there.
Ayun,
Yay!
I just
Thank you very much, Mike.
unplugged the audio jack. So sorry
Mm.
about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What was the question again?
The question was that how did you feel when you
Yeah.
received the news and what did you go through?
Dun sa simula, yeah, it was kasi ligwak ako both for all the programs sa first at second choices. Yeah. Parang buong araw ang hirap mag-grasp nun buong araw. So like baka soon baka maiba naman soon, baka may mangyari pa, baka magkaroon pa ng development. So I was holding my breath for some time. Tapos lumipas yung mga araw and yun nga. Ganun pa rin. wala rin masyadong naging development. So kung ano yung naging resulta, yun na siya. So the next step nga ay yung pagpapa-recon or yung pagpapa-reconsideration sa ibang campuses. And ang pinaka nasa taas ng agenda ko is UP Los Baños. Kasi sa lahat ng UP systems, ang nag-offer lang ng course na gusto ko, which is industrial engineering, is Diliman and Los Baños. But then, nag-release ng announcement si UP Los Baños na hindi sila tatanggap ng recon applicants sa mga hindi naglagay ng UPLB for first choice sa Form 1 nila. Yung choice ko sa UPLB is second choice. Second choice yung UPLB. And during that time, grabe naman yung time na yun na medyo na-attach pa ako sa sa UPLB. I was reading through a lot of forums. Parang base sa mga sinasabi ng mga taga UPLB, parang nanggaling sa Manila. Parang mas maganda daw sa sa UP Diliman. Basta na lahat ng sinasabi na maganda talaga yung environment sa UPLB. So, ayun na naman, ang sakit na naman nung ordeal na yun. Pero, fortunately, kasi medyo di ko pinansin yung I didn't confirm for any other universities. Kasi UP or nothing nga talaga ako. Buti na lang, after ng UP results, nag-announce naman sila Sal na magkakaroon sila ng parang quote-unquote special confirmation period. Hindi ko lang alam kung if this was meant to accommodate yung mga yung mga refugees ng UPCA. Kaya ayun, fortunately naman andito na rin ako and I'm contented naman sa ngayon.
I mean,
bale na dun sa nangyari before.
It sucks. I mean, failure, then another followed by another denial.
Yes.
It really can tear a person who's already torn down. But something, Mark, if you would allow me to ask this as well. Something to give context kasi for our viewers, because we have upperclassmen alumni that has gone through the college application. But for those that are our lower classmen, they might not understand that why did they not choose, or why did they not reserve the slots with the other schools first? Because Mike did bring this up, and others as well brought this up. Na why not just reserve them all, and then when the time comes, na at the last moment you have to choose, then you just decide. Now the thing is, they have their reasons, and it could be expectations from parents, like Wax had mentioned. But there's also something that I'm not sure why they're not mentioning it, but monetary considerations that w- uh, should I ask? Okay, I should ask also how much, because to give context to how much, but also why they didn't choose that specific school, because expectations as well. But I have a different question on expectations also. But if you can remember, how much were does anyone from the group remember how much the reservation fee confirmation slot was from the schools?
10,000.
10,000
For
Today,
USD, it's more,
DLSU
diba?
and Ateneo.
10,000
For
for
USD,
Thor.
it's like, how much was USD? Because for me, it was 20K, but I know it was more for the regular courses. Tama ba?
USD? Walang hiningi sa amin. Walang hiningi sa amin for confirmation fee. I don't
Talaga?
remember them asking. Yeah, walang hiningi sa amin. I legit, no joke. I said, nag-confirm ako na I'm considering my slot, pero walang hiningi na payment sa akin until enrollment. Yung
Wala ba?
Lasal and Ateneo, humingi sa amin ng 10K. But for USD, I don't remember them asking unless enrollment na siya. Ayun yung
Okay,
alala ko
well,
sa akin.
sa amin, it was 20K for Leap Med. It was 20.
Sheesh.
How about in the
Well,
international schools? Did they also ask for confirmation? No,
It's
naman.
$200. So
Mark
10K.
compute.
10K.
10K.
10,000.
then 10K then.
Yeah, it was $200 for. Actually, I think all of them. Yeah, I think $200 is like a standard.
It's not
200 was
easy
at 500.
for our applicants. It's not easy to part with money that doesn't actually belong to you. And if to apply for to reserve a slot for all of them, that's 10,000, 10,000, maybe 20,000 if you applied for UST. But would you know if your parents were actually willing enough to shell, or you didn't ask for them because medyo you had your reasons? Do you recall?
Um, ano naman
Actually,
sa'kin sir, wait, paano ba? Sa'kin naman sir, it's more like we were trusting UP.
Mm.
So we really didn't think of confirming, because we were like, even if hindi first choice nga, siguro naman any of those 8 choices may makukuha
Yeah.
ka kahit isa. Pero like, unfortunately hindi nga. So, pero yeah, so hindi talaga ako nag-confirm. Hindi ko rin pinansin nga yung admissions ng iba. So yun, sa'kin.
How about for the
Yeah.
boys? Did any of you confirm in other schools?
actually, I was planning on confirming until I saw kung gaano katagal lang nila ire-reserve yung slot.
Mhm.
Kasi most of the enrollment, I believe, was way before pa yung nakalagay doon was na you confirm the slot for like 2-ish weeks and then required ng mag-enroll ka, send your documents over, ganun. So, that's what, as far as I know, yun yung gagawin. Pero, if I did do that, I still wouldn't be able to wait for UP
UP.
results.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, that's why I chose not to confirm na lang kasi parang walang point, no? It felt like there's no point in confirming. You're just gonna dish out 10,000 and then dun ka rin naman mapapadpad. You're not really reserving anything kasi the timeline is way too short for anything to come out from it. So, ayun. I think we were willing naman. Pero yung sinabi kasi sa akin, if they're gonna pay for the 10,000 to reserve a slot, dun na ako papasok.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
So, ayun. I didn't na lang. I decided to wait.
How about Thor? Did you reserve for other schools?
No, kasi yun nga, fortunately, I got into my first choice in UST.
Already.
And UST was the first one. So I was like, okay, yun na. And then UP na yung next. Like, depends on whether or not I get the course that I want in UP. And then I decide whether or not I want to stick with accelerated in UST or go to UP. It's different for me. I feel like for
Yeah.
the others.
No, no, no. It's that's a valid reason naman talaga. At least you were able to figure it out early on. Now, there was a common thing that I've noticed, co-host Mark, uh, in relation to this. Many of you mention expectations, and this is something that kind of weighs heavy on every one of us whenever we receive news like this. So, if you were to compare, which do you think really felt heavy at the time? Was it expectation coming from parents, expectation coming from your friends, family, expectation of the school, or was it kind of like an expectation from yourself? Again, um, feel free to, if you want to reserve your answer, not to answer, it's okay. We totally understand. But for those that would like to share, raise your hand. I don't know who to start with. Anyone would like to try? Well, okay. If I can ask Quax, since he did mention earlier that there were expectations coming from his parents, having both of them from UP. But again, it might differ from yourself if comparing expectations from different kinds of people. So, which one kind of weighed a lot?
Um, well, actually kasi, um, for I'm the type of person kasi na when people have expectations on me for, let's say, my future, I actually don't really care that much. They can have all the expectations they want for me. Pero we did have a really long talk nga about it, and they were able to convince me in a way na I think I can do it. They were able to convince me na siguro papasa naman siguro ako. And I guess bonus na ma-meet ko yung expectations na yan. So, ayun. That's why I decided to go kasi I guess Okay, I'm sorry.
Mm.
So,
It's
I guess yung pinaka takeaway dun was I I wanted to be able to prove myself na
Mm.
I guess kaya ko nga, ganun. Pero in terms of the weight of the expectations of people around me, it didn't feel that heavy. At least, fortunately naman nga for me, when it comes to these types of things, it's not that heavy for me. And
Mm.
I guess yung pinaka naisip ko na lang at the time was, um, if I do pass, yay! If I don't, then it's more of a me thing than another
Yeah.
people thing.
Okay. Understandable. Okay. Now, if I can move to Mike, because in relation to the theme of photon, we're seeing a lot of photon peeps here in my chat, and they're my advisory. Hi, Matthew, Ikat, and Almi. They're here with us as well, supporting our photon people. Mike, how about you?
Yeah, actually. Ako rin hindi rin ako yun nga, since UP or nothing nga ako, hindi rin ako nag-confirm sa, sa kahit ano. So, it's more on the parang, medyo, I, I'd say naging kampante talaga ako. So, I had my hopes really high. And fortunately, yung sa parents ko, sa pamilya ko, ano naman, fortunately, okay naman. Malaking parte na dun sa dun sa pressure ay naging sa sarili ko talaga kasi for me parang UP is a lifelong dream for me rin talaga. Kaya a lot of the pressure nanggaling sa akin talaga.
Yeah.
And on top of that pa, yun nga, yung reputation talaga sa Pisay na ever since for decades na siguro, passing rate ng Pisay, particularly sa MIT, mas mataas pa siya sa 90%. So
Mm-mm.
there's really pressure there. And then pagdating naman nung year na to, medyo substantially medyo bumaba siya. And a lot of people, even yung mga yung mga yung mga magagaling talaga na mga students, the kind of students I look up to, even them nga hindi sila nakakuha dun sa nila, dun sa first choices nila. So yun nga. So to some, a lot of the pressure nanggaling talaga sa akin. Tapos
Yeah.
nadagdagan pa siya dun sa culture ng Pisay.
It's a thing. I think it's something that Pisay really needs to reconsider when it comes to this kind of things. And someone who really agreed to you was Sir Tarcy's Strontium baby. Strontium ka, di ba, Mark? Strontium yung
Yeah.
hawak mo nung batch nila.
Mm.
Sure, go ahead. I see you were really agreeing with Mike when he was mentioning Pisay having this expectation. How about you?
Yeah. Okay, my mom is Ateneo grad and my dad is a foreigner, so it doesn't really matter whether or not I go to UP. Like there wasn't any familial pressure there. But yun nga, being in Pisay, year after year, the graduating batch, all will end up in UP. You go on
Mhm.
Facebook, you see, oh, they changed their DP and then they changed their status. Oh, studying in UP Diliman, studying in UP Manila, right? So it gets to your brain, especially. I feel like it's only applicable to Maine. I'll talk about that later. But it gets to your brain that if you're Pisay, you go to UP, right? And if you don't go to UP, there's something happened, right?
Mm.
So that was kind of that was the only pressure that kind of made me feel bad about not getting into UP. And so yeah, I agree with what Mike said.
It you feel these external things that makes you like what you said, makes you feel bad. These are things that which actually affect each and every person, each and every PSI student that applies in college, and really makes them anxious about what the results would be. Uh, was Janaea also? Janaea, what was your grade 9 section?
Pero video mo ako, grabe.
Video. So let's hear it from Janaea. How about you? I see we're also agreeing with Thor.
Yeah, I mean, sir, there's always the Pisay expectation din naman talaga. Especially when you look at the higher years kasi ang dami nila UP, gano'n. And then like, they look like they're having fun, stuff like that. So there's also that Pisay pressure. Pero, to be honest, yung pressure sir na naramdaman ko sa akin was more on pressure from myself. And I'm not sure kung myself ba siya or sa relatives ko. Was like, yung close family ko, walang pressure
Mhm.
doon. But like, kasi ako yung una kong kilalang family member other than my cousin na batch 2020 na UP right now. Other than her, walang UP ever sa pamilya namin. So, it was kind of an ano, especially nung pumasok ako sa Pisay and everyone was like, pag may family gathering, oh, mag-UP ka, saan ka pupunta? UP na yan, something like that. There was that factor talaga with other relatives. So, there was that ano. And then, parang IDK, there was yung brief moment talaga na parang that time I was like, anong gagawin ko? Is like, and then nagpo-post sa social media, alam ng lahat, results na UP ngayon. Tapos like, may ingay pa ako sa social media. So like, pag nanahimik ko
Mm.
wala ba, stuff like that. There was that, ano, for me. Pero siguro yung pressure talaga na nakaano sa akin was yung galing sa sarili ko as a whole. Because as in, may moments ako during that week during that period na parang I was like, should I have done better nung grade 9 and 10? Because grade 9 and 10, lowest grades ko yun ever. Kahit di naman ganun kababa, 1.6 pa rin siya. So, there was that ano sa akin na dapat ba, I should have done better. Dapat pala nag-goal na ako ng DL. Dapat di na lang ako there was that feeling din sa akin na parang, siguro if I tried better nung Pisay and I could have ano, pero like, wala na akong magagawa at that point. Pero ayun talaga yung nasa isip ko that time. Yung parang I could have done better or yung sa family na ano. So yeah, that was
Now,
really the main pressure.
now, I'm not sure with regard to grades kasi soksay mo sa akin, lahat kayo actually matataas eh. Baka si Sir Tarcy yung may kasalanan kung
Wala
bakit.
namang mababa sa'yo, Joshua eh. Did you ever give a 1.5?
Yes. Yes, I think so. I did. But anyways, okay, I pass the floor to Mark to ask the next question.
Okay, so I guess listen to you guys, you all had experiences. Some actually, I'm getting is you generally have a lot of similarities in terms of how you experienced dealing with these things. One thing I did notice though was and dito may konting variety. Some of you, there were mentions of things like wala na akong magagawa and may kailangan akong gawin. So there's and these were mentioned in different contexts. Yun nga, some okay, nandun ka na, so wala na akong magagawa, or yun yan, parang nangyari na, so I have to do something. So I guess in your in that situation na your initial plans, your ideal plans were not there anymore. Parang and now that you have had time to think about it, you think parang ano ba talaga yung mga what were the things that wala ka na magagawa? Those things that really there's no real point in thinking about it. What are the things that you can do? What are the things that from that point of knowing that that path, that plan of yours is closed off, this is something real that can have an effect on what your new plan will be. So, do you guys have any ideas, examples na now that you think on it, Parang, maybe at the time you thought that was something that is worth thinking about, but now, no, parang I shouldn't have thought about it too much. Or
Okay.
but
Don't worry. Give yourself some time to think about that question because kahit ako medyo nahilo ako. But
okay,
more
okay.
on what are the things that you felt that you kind of wasted? It's not wasted, but more on you kind of wish that you didn't think about too much to stress that much, considering that where you are right now is that you're happy, you're content, you're kind of headed towards a different direction, not intended, but something that you're on full course steam ahead. In this scenario, what were those thoughts back then that might have prevented you from getting to where you are right now? Is that what you wanted to ask, Mark?
Yes, yes. That was...
I got it. Sorry. Uh, um, Mark, pag binibigla kasi si Sir Tarcy ng pinapasa sa kanya yung bola, medyo nag-aalanganan siya eh. Anyone? Anyone would like to try?
I can go ahead.
Go ahead.
Ayun nga. Sa simula, so bale, immediately after ko nakuha yung results, I wasted quite some time na I wasted quite some time sa pag-isip dun sa mga dapat kong ginawa na matagal na talaga. Bale, parang grabe kung hindi lang ako nagbulakbol sa class na to, or if I just studied even just by a little bit harder for this exam, for these subjects, things probably would have been different this time around. So I wasted quite some time there. Pero ayun naman, na sa point na yun, siguro naman nagawa ko naman siguro sa point na yun yung mga gusto ko talaga at yung mga dapat kong gawin, tulad ng pag-focus dun sa reconsiderations for UP, kasi dun sa point na yun naging proactive po ako talaga. I was to the point of messaging the registrars paulit-ulit. Even yung chancellor message ko. Pero yun nga nangyari yung mga may mga di pa rin in-expect, but still sa ngayon I'm still contented naman.
That's okay. I can attest to the Bulakpol part. When he was asleep in most of the classes of Photon, but he was happy. That's the thing. It's something that really made who he is right now, and I'm glad that that's how you felt. That's how you feel. Anyone would like to share also? Heavy-hearted question from Sir Tarcy. I know, but can you try? Thor, what are your thoughts on this? I'm pretty sure you have thoughts of this because as much as you've crammed it, I know you've spoken out about it.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't understand the question. I'm not gonna lie. What I got from Sir Q's interpretation of the question is, okay, what is the next step after? What is the next step? Is that the question?
No,
What is
no,
that?
more of what are the things that during the time that you weren't feeling okay, maybe unfair kay Thor kasi he didn't have that time to wallow that much. He was in a very quick mode of 5 stages, but still a valid 5 stages. But what Sir Tarsi wanted to ask was more on what are the things that you wish that you didn't have you Mark,
Didn't follow
help.
on.
Yeah, would have follow on or would have Mark, what was it?
uh, basically, what are the things that you wish you did well on? Parang at the time you spent so much time thinking, oh, parang I should have done that, or parang oh,
Gets.
maybe I can still do this, pero in the end now you think na yeah, I mean I didn't have to do that. So
Okay, so you lost me again. I think I'm gonna set this one out.
okay, Sige lang. How can I put it better? I guess I mean, speaking more in the context of we're trying to help people better situate themselves. So if ever they come across a point that they have to abandon or change their plan, what are things that they should avoid doing? Parang, yun nga, parang, maybe
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. What
I
did you
get
guys
it.
think?
So, well, the first thing that I looked at is what is it that I truly want? Like, do I want to be a UP student? I don't think that's anybody's goal in life. Goal mo ba sa buhay mo maging UP student? Malamang hindi. So, I looked at the essence of what I want. And what I want is to become a doctor. There are so many paths I can take. There's so many ways that I can go through to get to that goal, right? UP was a consequence of being in Pisay. That was a consequence of the Pisay main mindset. So uh, I guess all I want to say is to the people, to the lower years who are listening, that if well, no, there are so many other paths that you can explore that aren't necessarily what you would think of as a first choice, but are completely viable and you would be happy to go through. So I think you just have to. Is that it? Is that the
Yeah,
question?
honestly, that's
Okay.
a really good
Yeah,
answer.
that's true.
Okay.
A really good
So
answer.
yun nga, you just have to look at what you really want. If you want to become an engineer, do you have to be a UP engineer? If you're gonna look at the stats, literally just a couple hours or yesterday, it came out that I think it was LaSalle that was the most employable. No, Ateneo was the most employable or whatever. It doesn't matter what school you're gonna go to, what school you come from, because it's as long as you know what you want and you have a viable path that you're happy to take, that you're happy taking to achieve that goal. Gets pa? Don't be afraid to explore the different. Don't keep yourself don't keep yourself what do you call that? What do you call tunnel visioned on that one singular path or course or college because it isn't everything, you know. So ayun. Don't dwell too much on I'm not gonna be a UP engineer. I'm not gonna be a UP doctor. That's fine. Because at the end of the day, is that really what you want? No, you just want to be a doctor. You just want to be an engineer.
Fudge, that was supposed to be the ending message. Paano na? Are we ending it now? No. That was very
Grabe,
valid,
sir.
and we'll loop into that in a bit. Don't worry. But that was
Yeah.
very actually where we were kind of headed towards. Thank you. How about you guys? Wax, were there any thoughts that you felt that you kind of felt it was wasted on that you didn't want
Uh,
to, couldn't have not thought about it?
Actually, I think the biggest one would be yung regret ko not not going into Ateneo instead, because I did dwell on that a lot. In fact, it was so deeply ingrained into me na I started blaming other people for it, for my decision. Kasi nga, my parents convinced me to wait for UP.
Mm,
So I blamed it on them na I'm in this mess, ganun. So I guess that was a really big waste of energy, emotional energy. Uh, I guess it also became hurtful to other people. So,
mm,
ayun nga. In a sense, past me was right. It did at a certain point something. It's something to be mad about nga.
Mhm.
But again, it all lies talaga to me personally kasi I still went and pursued that. I still let myself be convinced. So, I guess yung gusto kong sabihin here is that um, this is different, I guess, in for other people. Pero
Mhm.
for people like me, who genuinely want to stick to what they want, go
mhm,
for it. Don't don't be tied down by other people. Don't be tied down by what other people think. Don't be tied down by these things. Go pursue what you want. And if you feel like you've been convinced, you want to take that risk, sure, that's valid too. Because taking this decision, yada yada yada, it um I don't know if this is it's not as impactful as you really think it is. Me, when I made the decision and then I realized that I made a mistake, I felt so devastated. I felt like my life was ruined. I felt like I'm not getting anywhere in life. But now that I'm here, now that I've had time to process everything, it feels lighter. It feels like, okay, I'm that happened, but there's this many other paths that I can take to get to where I want to be. So, yun nga, follow follow where you want, follow the path you want, but don't don't think that that path is the only path. Yeah.
Man, we're ending with ender quotes now. Like, these are the quotes that are just, feeling ko ma-pressure tuloy si Janea. But thank you,
Kaya
Max.
nga, sir.
That was very, actually, it would be very helpful, especially for those that might be feeling the same way. Janea, how
To,
about you?
to be
What were those things that you kind of
to be
hope
honest,
that
sir,
you didn't?
nung una, sir, nung sinabi oh, sorry. So, yung sinabi kasi sir ni Thor, actually, sabi ko, ay shoot, naunahan ako dun sa med stuff. And then, nung tas nauna pa si Wax, tas sinabi pa ni Wax yung there's the multiple paths. I'm like, wait, wait lang. Okay. So, yeah, ano naman talaga, sir, because nga talaga, for me, personal endgame ko talaga, gusto ko talaga mag-doctor. Because I want that, it's been my dream since elementary and I still want to do it. And then we blame a lot of K-drama for convincing me even more and Saint Luke. So, it's med school all the way. Pero like, ayun talaga yung, to be honest, ayun yung parang naging realization ko through this whole process talaga is like I wanted UP or UST because like when you take the NMAT, mas may advantage ka kay UP and UST if doon ka nag-undergrad. Mas madali makapasok. May technically mas mababa yung passing rate nila para makapasok ka dun sa med school o university na yun. So there was that, I was like that. And then na-realize ko like bakit hindi ko na lang try galingan talaga like dun sa NMAT mismo. I'll try my best and if baka naman kaya naman makapasok like kahit saan ka manggaling na undergrad if naman. So ayun yung parang naging realization ko na sobrang daming iba pang puwedeng like ang daming doktor na nag-arts nung college, nung undergrad sila ta's ngayon doktor
Ah,
na. There's that rin. Talagang and then the moment talaga was I look back and I ko look back sa past ko and I'm like, di mo well, in the first place, di mo naman in-expect mag-Pisay. So like, that's one part. Then I was like, sobrang unplanned ng buhay mo, Junea. So like, talagang may endgame ka lang pero like the in-between wala kang kahit ano. So it was a big siguro nakatulong din for me was yung within this realization talagang I keep looking back to what happened nung SIP ko sa St. Luke's. Because like, super dahil ko nakilalang doctor sa St. Luke's, all kinds of doctors. Like, meron talaga yung mga terror na doctor, merong mga nakakatakot, merong mga seryoso, merong mga nagbibiro lang, merong ganon. And like, it was parang yun yung parang humila sa akin na parang okay, naalala mo yung sinabi sa'yo ni Doc na yung kapatid niya Pisay, pero like siya hindi Pisay, pero siya yung nagdoktor. Yung kapatid niya sumuko early on because of burnout, something like that. And then like siya, hindi nga siya engineering siya or architecture siya nung undergrad, pero ngayon siya yung ortho ngayon sa and like 5 years yun na undergrad, kinaya pa niya mag-med school after. And so there was
yeah.
that weird point where it's more like parang I reg parang, medyo nag-aano ako na na-tunnel vision ako with the UP and UST med stigma na 'pag mas madali and stuff like that. Is more like ang naano ko is like yung sinabi talaga ni Wax na parang there's a lot of different paths to take for one end goal. And like you never really know what to expect talaga. Was like walang planado talaga completely sa buhay. Because laging may curveball na mapupunta dyan somewhere in the middle and like magugulat ka na lang. And if you overthink it too much, may iwan ka na talaga dun sa huli. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's more of talagang yun.
No, that was
Naubos na.
great actually. Yeah. Actually, one thing na medyo napansin ko, yung microphone ba ni Janea hindi ba yun yung ginagamit ng K-pop star? Yun yung nakadikit
Sir,
talaga
hindi.
sa
Hindi. Hindi
Pang
siya
call
nakakonect ng
center.
earphones, grabe.
Joke lang.
yung idol pag sumasayaw kailangan yung anyways. Um Mark, if you'd allow me one question before your
Eh,
question that
no,
ends
no.
it.
You're already rounding it off. Go now.
Okay. So this is something that I feel like it's the most important because we were able to track all the way from where you are now back to where you were back then, and then what were the steps to get there. Now this is something for those out there, for our your batchmates that might be not be okay, like still might be struggling to get through where they are right now, might still be feeling lost, might be even our upper batchmen who might feel also the same way where you are right now, or might be the worries of our lower batch students that are afraid of what's going to happen for them in the future. A lot of these fears, they may be big, they may be small, they may be imposed by someone else, they may be imposed by themselves, but all of them may actually be valid fears. My question now to you is for those that had actually gone through it and experienced hell and so on. Sorry, Mark. Uh, through and through. My question is, if you can give one tip, like what was that one thing that helped you go through? That if there was that one thing that you can really remember that really helped you shake it off, figure it out, or help you to see where you are right now, so that for those that are kind of out there who are still lost, maybe your what you might say might help them. To give Janae a chance bago niyo siya unahan. Janae, para kawawa siya kasi naubusan siya sa sagot. Janae, how about
Hmm,
you?
ano ba? Kasi sa'kin kasi sir, I have this defense mechanism where I distract myself if I'm really if there's something that's really bothering me, I try as much as to distract myself. Um, yung siguro the tip would be specifically do something you know you're comfortable with and you know you love. Because like nung the whole fiasco, I focused on nag-decide after nung after na pala when I was like okay, lasal na ako, wala na ako. Oh, no choice. I focused on other things. So like super dami kong ginawa like with the blog, yung blog namin, and then anday ko na biling Funko Pop. I'm at number nakaka 16 na ako na Funko Pop. And like napahol ako doon. Tapos like IDK ang dami kong natutunan ang dami kong na-realize na parang yung doing the things I love is like parang may na-discover akong mga bagong passions. I discovered more about myself as a whole, especially yung pag dun nag-binge ako ng dramas, as in naka-binge ako in 3 days, basta yun, the whole binge thing. I realized na I have a knack for actually reviewing stuff and like ang dami kong ideas when it comes to like so I learned a lot from myself by distracting myself from the thing that was keeping me down. Well, minsan kasi masama yung distraction, but like when I think about it, it's more of a distraction to para hindi ako mag-overthink because I overthought everything during that period. And it was a good distraction na parang it helped me get over yung nangyari. But at the same time, it also helped me grow as a person because anday ko na-discover sa sarili ko. So, yeah. So, yung tip ko lang is find and do something that you love or like or you want to try. So, yeah.
Deep.
To get
That's really
over that.
deep. I like it. It's very nice. I think it's not only applicable to others but also for myself. I'll take that also. Uh, Mike, how about you? Anything that you could impart for us?
Pansin ko lang kasi sa ano, out of everyone here, so bale, ako yung pinaka pinaglaban talaga yung ano, yung UP. Kasi ano wala may ano may actually hanggang ngayon may ano pa rin, may UP connection pa rin. So kaya medyo na sa akin merong sentimental value sa akin yung ano yung sa UP. Kaya medyo detract lang ako dun sa advice ng iba like Wax and Thor kasi baka merong ano sa if things turn out like it did this time around, if merong mga gusto talaga mag-UP na hindi nakapasa, actually wag kayo mag-give up kasi meron pang ibang mga there's still other ways to get into UP. Yun. Ayun, doon ako nag-focus kaso unfortunately nga yung ano hindi lang ako masyado pinagpalad at kung mag-fail man yung ano reconsiderations, pwede kang I've heard of people who did this, but people merong ibang mga students na nag-aral sa ibang university tapos ano parang ni-ruler nila yung grades nila and then transferred to UP the following year. Kaya kung ano talaga kung nasa puso mo talaga yung UP, makakagawa ka rin ng paraan. Kung ako lang nga, medyo di lang ako masyado pinagpalad sa part na yon. Pero kung gusto mo talaga sa UP, there are other ways naman na get in. Kaya kung ano man, kung dumating man yung results at mangyari yung hindi mo inaasahan, wag kang mawawalan ng pag-asa. Sure na may pag-asa pa yan para sa'yo. Yun lang yung ano ko. Gusto ko sabihin sana.
Yeah, great.
Pasensya na medyo nag-detract lang sa sinasabi ng
No.
iba.
It's right. Actually, I can relate much because if I may share, ako din more on revenge ko yung pagkuha ko ng master's sa LaSalle because I got kicked out from LaSalle. I got kicked out, went to CSB, and I said, I'll show them. Babalikan ko talaga sila. So I went back, applied for a master's, and I graduated. It took me a while to graduate because I know medyo mahirap talaga sa law school ng LaSalle, but I kind of showed them, and it was pride, but also more on there are other like what the Mike said. There are other ways to get back in if it's something that you really want to. It's in your heart and in your dreams to do it. So even if Mike feels like it's a bit detracted from others, no, I get you. Don't worry. Max, how about you?
I guess from me naman, yung pinaka gusto kong ilahad out there, um, it's not over. It's really not. Like I said earlier, the the path that you felt when the path that I felt when I was devastated with the news, it felt really heavy for me at the time. Where after post processing, after understanding more, it's not as heavy as I thought it was. So right now, I'm focusing on other things. Um, I'm making the most out of the situation kasi alam ko na I can keep doing I can keep doing things how I want to do things. I still have control over my life, ganun. So, yun nga. Right now, I'm focusing on my extracurriculars.
Valorant.
Yeah.
Say it. Within top
Okay.
100 in the Philippines. Can you imagine, Mark?
Yeah,
Estudyante ko
actually.
yan.
Even back
Ako
when he was in
makakalimutan.
Visay, top in Overwatch yan.
Di ba?
So, yun nga. Okay. I've been focusing on Valorant more kasi like I said, I had more free time. I have a lot more free time. I'm lucky that I have this time. So, I'm putting all my resources into what I want to do kasi that's what I want to do. it's not over. And I understand then next year, like I mentioned earlier, I have a plan on transferring. Well, I actually have to, given that my degree is not approved. So, but yun nga, you have a lot of choices. You have a lot of things that you can still do, and as much as you feel na your life is out of control na ano, it's still your life. You can still do what you want to do. And I guess it's valid nga na you feel devastated, pero you're gonna have to get back up and do things again. So, ayan, just just always remember na it's not over, you know?
And I really like your quotes. I meant it's heartfelt and something we know that you've all gone through. I'm just worried about the comment section that Almi says, gusto ko maging Valorant. Um, when you said you do Valorant and sinabi ni Almi, gusto ko maging Valorant, does she meant to play Valorant or to be Valorant? Baka hindi mo siya pinapansin, ah? Just in case. Oh,
Sir,
hi,
sir, okay
Almi.
na, okay naman po kami, Ayami.
Okay, that's great. That's great to hear. May utang pa kayong story sa akin, ah. Finally, Thor, the one that I feel like he will be able to give the best ender for everyone. Not best. I meant something that he's very vocal about, but he really thought about it, despite the 5 day, 5 2 week, 5 stages of depression, 5 stages of what you call it? 5 stages of
Grief, sir,
Grief.
grief.
grief. Yeah.
So you want to give
What was
me
that
an sorry.
one thing that helped you get through that you can share with those that are also going through the same thing?
So what really kept me going was just like I already mentioned it kanina, but it's just I know what I want. I have my goal. I just have to focus and try my best because like I said, nga, there's so many paths. You just have to make the best out of the path that you gotcha, right? Because essentially like it's just you didn't know it was gonna happen. You didn't expect it, but you're there. You just have to make the most out of it and try your best to from that starting position make your way to the end zone, which is your main goal in whatever you want to do. Right? Just have to keep yourself focused and try your best. Because I feel like the world isn't super duper duper. No, that's I was gonna say something kind of insensitive, but never mind.
Yeah.
I Yun lang. And I kind of want to give a message to like the lower years. Kasi uh I feel like if they were in our position, they would do the same thing. They would apply for UP, they would not confirm in the other universities. They wouldn't even consider the other universities. But now that they know what happened to us, I hope that they can learn and like adjust their expectations. Um, try their best pa rin, but know what to expect. Know that nothing is sure, so always have a backup plan. And ayun, sort out what you really want. That's all I can say.
Great. Actually, that's great.
Actually, to
For everyone to.
to add
Yeah, go ahead.
to Thor, I want to add to Thor about saying na the lower years and their expectations. Ngayon na we know na UP's passing rate is well below na than kasi 'di ba dati we were so caught up in the 90% passing rate, 'di ba?
Mm,
Na
Yeah.
iniisip natin we don't think about who passed, we think about who didn't pass.
mm,
I hope na with what happened na malesen yung burden of expectation, malesen yung weight na ano, na if you don't pass, I hope na it isn't that big of a blow. It isn't it isn't something that devastating. Kasi nga, these emotions are valid, but at the same time, it's not, it's ano eh, parang, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be ganun. Kasi we shouldn't place too much weight on it kasi it happens. It's life. And I don't want people to be stuck up on that 1%. And I want people to start thinking na right now it's like what 50%, 60%. It's it's there, you know.
Mm.
It's,
No, yeah. I meant what happens does happen. Just
yeah,
prepare for the best.
prepare
Yeah,
for it.
let's give everyone their chance to speak to the lower bash. Go ahead. Mike, go ahead.
Okay, I add lang. Kasi gusto ko sana sabihin to kanina pero sana hindi gayahin ng lower years yung ginawa ko. I literally banked so hard on UP. Kaya during the applications yung applications ko sa iba medyo na neglect ko. So I wasn't applying for scholarships in LaSalle, in Ateneo. So yeah, basta wag niyo kalimutan kung important factor or kung deciding factor talaga yung tuitions for your education sa college. Wag niyo kalimutan mag-apply for scholarships like I did. And gusto ko lang naman i-plug LaSalle gives really good. Maganda yung nung LaSalle, no? Yung
Mabait
scholarships
sila.
ng LaSalle. Oh,
Mabait
lalo na dun sa
sila.
mga
Classmates.
nangangailangan. Like you don't even need. I know people naman who hindi naman yung parang top 1 lagi sa klase material, but still got a pretty good scholarship in LaSalle. So yeah, don't forget the scholarships. Kasi grabe yung hindi biro yung tuition sa LaSalle.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
Lalo na sa
Very true.
Ateneo. Lalo na sa Ateneo. Wait, sige, I'll add last.
Go ahead.
Kung yung sa online classes natin, magkano tuition? Online classes. Isang term tatlong term pa sa isang year.
Wag mo nang takotin tatay. Wag mo nang takotin. Nananakot kayo. Okay, may scholarship. Okay.
Yeah.
Ano mo?
Basta wag yung kalimutan yun. Kahit partial na
Yeah.
scholarship lang, laking bagay na yun.
Yeah, actually. Janea, go ahead.
Siguro add ko na rin since na-mention din ni Wax yung parang yung sa pressure and stuff. Gusto ko lang i-add na if because of what happened sa UP, you're gonna stress over na dapat mas taasan mo yung grades mo sa Pisay, and like because of that lalo ka lang maiinis. Like stress ka sa akad sa Pisay lalo kasi nape-pressure ka na taasan mo talaga yung grades mo para mas mataas yung chances mo sa UP. And it's not a bad thing naman, pero the thing is you should still try to enjoy your high school life. Like, don't put too much pressure yourself. Kasi sobrang daming, to be honest, the best part of Pisay for me was the extracurriculars. Kasi sobrang daming extracurriculars sa Pisay. You could try a lot of things. And don't let that yung grade stuff, the issue with UP and the admission thing, don't let that stop you from exploring new things in Pisay, and like don't focus too much on ACADS lalo na ngayong pandemic. Kasi if you focus too much on ACADS, parang ang nasa isip mo na lang talaga, no choice ka kundi mag-isip ng ACADS, like if you don't try other extracurriculars na it's gonna be hard. So yeah, try to enjoy lang your high school life in Pisay as much as possible and don't pressure yourself too much. Yeah.
And they really gave great advice. I meant, okay. So to wrap things up, a little bit something about myself also. Someone who actually failed a lot in life. College, got kicked out, but got back. Masters. I failed the bar 3 times, but I'm still trying. So seeing you how well adjusted to these big blockades in your life, and you figured out how to get around them. It it makes me it makes me content and happy that you're okay. That's something that me and Sir Tarcy, we've been always worried about how batch 2021 was going, and our hearts are still out there for you and the others that are still adjusting to everything. But for this, we really hope that with we thank everyone here, the guests here that were able to share. It's something that I believe that s- it needs to be seen by the lower years, not just to set their expectations, but to know that it happens. Life really happens. We can't control it. Wax said that we just have to control whatever we can control. Thor says that we have to just focus on what we really want and, just enjoy whatever we can and do what needs to be done. That's all. So with that, Sir Tarcy, any last words?
Inubos mo na lahat eh. Sabihin ko.
I'm so sorry.
Well,
For our people out there in the chat.
okay,
Oh, you guys
so,
have a lot of fans, ah. Marami kayong mga fans na hinatak dito sa stream namin, and thank you. Don't worry. This might actually get be shared with the SYP. So we know that this will actually affect others and help them through what they're going through right now. Marco.
you're taking even more. Parang,
Sorry.
okay, so I guess I'll just address everyone who's watching. So thank you all for coming. I hope you all were able to get something, no matter how small. But honestly, all of these things that our guests were saying, they're really helpful. No matter what state you are in, whether you're about to take your exams, whether you're in college and still deciding a lot of things, any uncertainty that we're all facing, which includes honestly all of us, with what's happening right now. There's so many things that we can't plan for, so many things that are out of control. But after this, we realized that even despite that, there are still things that we do have. I hope that you guys watching were able to somehow get something out of this. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Next week we'll have another episode of Tarcy Talks, so hope you'll tune in then and join us. So again, thank you all to our guests. Thank you to everyone who watched, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Bye. Shout out to Donna. Shout out. Sigawan ko daw siya. Donna.